Hello, welcome to Stamp Together. The purpose of this video is to show you how to put the tulip dies together. Tips on how you can put them together and the versatility that they offer. Personally, I love the versatility of these tulip dies. With 4 different tulips, or the dies to make 4 different tulips, you have an array of different flowers. No 2 flowers are the same anyway. So with all of these dies, you can get quite a variety of different looking tulips. And you know, as the wind blows, the tulip petals kind of flop in the wind and go over. So in real life, we see a lot of difference. So to begin with, this bundles together with flowering tulips, and I would suggest getting the bundle because it's 10% discount. And then I want to show you the tulip dies that we're going to use here. You're going to pair these 2 together. You can pair these 2 together. You can pair these 2 together. And you can pair these 2 together. There are 2 other dies in the set right here, and these go to cut out your stamped images. Then also you've got 2 different sizes of leaves and stem, and a little grass too, and that has a stamp that goes with it. And then I love all of these little tulips. Certainly you can die cut these in basic white cardstock and color different colored tulips and green stems. So you can have lots of variety with this. To save on time, I have already die cut these, and I want to show you how to put them together. There are a couple of different ways, and I'm going to show you both of those ways. Now to add dimension, which I am totally all about dimension and texture, I used an ink pad and sponge dauber, and I am sponging around the edge of my die cut tulips. On dark cardstock, I prefer a lot of times to go a shade darker with my ink. So the cardstock I've chosen just to show you how to put these tulips together is Poppy Parade. And I am sponging with Real Red, so it just gives it a little bit more pop and definition when you're sponging with a different color. So the easiest thing here, and I'll show you on the die, this is the die for this one, and right here in the middle there is a score line, so that's where we're going to fold. So that score line is right here, and you could actually see that maybe more in person, but there is a score line there, so we're going to just fold that over. The easiest way to put these together is to add a little bit of Tombow, and it does not take much at all, and just hold that in place. Now with tulips, obviously there's a lot of different ways you can put these together, but I prefer putting my petals on the outside, because if you look at a real tulip, the petals are always on the outside and you build going out. So that's the one tulip. This is another tulip, and this one is with this die right here, and it has 2 score lines. So we're going to fold on both of those score lines to something like this. And again, I'm just going to use a little bit of Tombow here and attach these. That's adhered. So I'm taking my tweezers off there and putting a little bit more Tombow on this outer petal here and holding it in place right like that. And I can go on to my next die cut tulip. So this third die cut also has 2 score lines, And again, well, it just wants to stick to my fingers. We're going to, right here on the score line, we're going to fold. And again, we're going to fold like this. And again, just putting a little tombow on there. And this one is stuck, so I'm going to take my tweezers and hold together like this. And then my third die here, I'm going to put a little tombow on there and place that right here. Now, you can add even more variety by where you're placing this outside petal. You could place it over to the left, you could place it over to the right. You've got a little bit of variety. And another thing you can do, instead of folding one direction, you can flip it around and fold another direction. And you'll have a little bit different look. That's especially true when you're using pattern paper to put these tulips together. Now there's one other one, and it's this one. I'm just going to put a little tombow right there in the middle, and I've just got a one piece to put on the outside. And those are my 4 different tulips. Now that's the first way, the easiest way of just adding a little multi-purpose tombow glue to create your tulips. Another way, if you're like me and you like a little more dimension, then what I have done is I have folded and I have put a dimensional. This is just one of the mini dimensionals, and I'm going to hold that in place with a dimensional. I'm going to hold this side together with a dimensional. And then I'm going to use a third one and put right in the middle, right like that. Take off the top of that dimensional. And then I'm adding just a little tombow multi-purpose glue. That's a little bit too much there. And I'm going to put that right down on the bottom. In the middle, the dimensional is holding it in place, and you can kind of see down there. But at the bottom, I'm going to put tombow, and I'm just letting my tweezers hold it in place while I work with the next tulip. Here again, I'm folding it in at the score line using a mini dimensional here. And you can even bend this at the little piece of cardstock that's holding that together. So it really does make it 3-dimensional, if you can tell there. And then in addition, I am taking another dimensional and adding it right in the middle. And I'm going to use this pair of tweezers, put a little tombow at the bottom, and I'm just going to attach it to the dimensional, use my tweezers to hold the tombow until it kind of adheres, and that really gives some dimension. So I've sponged this, and I'm also using mini dimensionals to give an extra little bit of dimension here. So on this last tulip here that I'm going to show you, I, again, am going to put a mini dimensional there, a little bit of tombow down at the bottom here, and I'm going to hold that right in place with my tweezers there. You can kind of see a little bit of my dimensional there. Now, if you want to, you can add a little bit of tombow, liquid multi-purpose adhesive on the sides there, and hold that in place to get a little bit more dimension. So we're going to take these out of the way, and I'm going to show you 2 cards that I've done. This one also using the Flowering Fields DSP that coordinates with the tulip bundle, and I will put the order numbers on the bottom of the link here, but this one is a joyful card, so it lifts up like this, and there, no one deserves a happier birthday than you. And these tulips are in Mango Melody and Blackberry Bliss, and they were put together with the mini dimensionals. Another card, this is using the New Horizons DSP. I cut out the tulips in the New Horizons, sponged the edge of them with Bumblebee ink, and put them together on a card. So those are just some ideas for you to use and tips on putting the flowering tulips dies together. Thank you.